Welcome to Anakin Plays Pharaoh, A New Era.
Pharaoh Khufu has at last made his plans known, and his boundless aspirations are sure to weigh heavily upon our people. Pharaoh both curses and blesses your family, for though you have been awarded the status of nomarch, you have also been charged with carrying out the most ambitious building project ever to be undertaken in our land. Pharaoh's eternal resting place shall be a massive pyramid complex situated far from any city on the plateau outside Rostja. His sarcophagus shall be made of solid granite, and his funeral barge of precious Lebanese cedar. Beside Pharaoh's pyramid complex, a smaller pyramid shall also be built for his son Prince Khafra, whose tyranny rivals that of his father, though his achievements do not. Khafra also declares that his image be carved into the living rock at Rostja, upon a huge figure called a sphinx, with the body of a lion and the head of a man. To support the massive building effort needed for the completion of this monument, you'll need to establish a large settlement at Rostja. As such, conditions there may not be overly refined, for your goal is only to complete these three great projects and to honor Pharaoh. You will be provided with some of the fine white limestone needed for the outer casing of these pyramids, but you will also need to purchase much of what you need with the city's own funds. Pharaoh is entrusting you, one of his royal nomarchs, with these three sacred tasks. You must demonstrate unwavering dedication to Pharaoh and fulfill his wishes, whatever the cost.
All right, hi, this is Anakin, and welcome to Series 1, Episode 17 of our playthrough of the campaign missions from Pharaoh, A New Era. We have reached Rostja. Rostja is one of those where you don't have a choice, you have to do it. This is one where there's a lot of pyramid building. We have to build a pyramid complex, which is a large pyramid attached to a passageway that goes all the way out to the Nile River. Then a medium pyramid behind that, and a sphinx. And actually that medium might be a small. I can't remember. We'll see in a minute. Anyway, what we have to work with is very interesting here too. We can't produce beer. We can't grow anything. We can only hunt ostrich. We do have gems and jewelers, so we can make money exporting gems and jewelry. And that's pretty much it. We're going to have to import the limestone that we need in order to make this all work. And money at the beginning is very difficult. It'd be very easy to just go broke and fail on this one. Very easy. You really have to get your economy right. So that's what we're focusing on here first, is figuring out where can we put a dock. We're going to have to be able to do trade in order to make money up front. Where housing will be crap, taxes won't help. We've just got to make money somehow. So I'm setting up a dock area here. Going to set it up as 8 by 11, and that will allow us to put 2, 4, 6. Is that right? Yeah, six storage yards in the middle and more on all the edges. So what we want to do is just set up a dock area, figure out how we're going to house that. And we're looking at our trade here and saying, okay, here's a relatively inexpensive water trade route that will buy gems and jewelry from us. And that's all we're going to take. There's only 2 available at this point. The other one is Biblos right here. Here we go, which is 1,250 Deben. Now, it'd be great to sell to them too, but we're not going to invest in that yet until we start making money from the other one. So what we're going to do here is have our gems are way over to the east or west. They're way over to the west, and we're over here where the first place that we could put a dock down, closest place we could put a dock down. So what we're going to do is set up storage yards to go out and get the gems that we mine over at the gem mines, bring them over here, and then we will create jewelry over here and export both the jewelry and the gems. Now, the other way we could do it, obviously, is do the jewelry production right over there with the gems, which would be fine. But I decided that it's just cleaner and easier to just go get the gems, bring them over here, and have one area where we do our work. So we're going to need, obviously, some housing to get this area going, and we're going to need some housing over at the other area. Now I'm looking at the temple complex. And you can put it along here pretty much anywhere you can get a straight shot. But see how it has to have that little area that goes out there to the water? Decide to keep it up there above those that ostrich breeding ground so that we can have plenty of hunting there. Now that puts it a bit away, but there's the other one we had to do, and I couldn't tell if that was a small or a medium. Anyway, I think it's a small. That pyramid we have to put behind that one. So I decided to just go ahead and do this kind of more like a way that it would be laid out. You know, not so much efficiency, but more how would it be laid out. I'd love to have, he can only look two ways. I'd love to have him look upstream like he's guarding land invaders. But we'll put the Sphinx right there. I wanted to have them all kind of close to each other. And because of the road access, we can control. We can put them all down, but control which one we work on by which one we give road access to. All right, so this video is going to be a lot different from most of mine. We're not going to look at the whole thing. This takes a long time to build all that, and it's a little boring to play, and it'd be very boring, I think, to watch. So what I'm going to do here is kind of get this initial setup going, and then we will move forward a little bit. So there's the dock area. Now, we'll go over here. Here's where we can get our gems. We can also quarry plain stone over here, which we're going to need a lot of in order to build our pyramids. So, we're going to set up an area over here that has a basic block. And right here, we're doing a very important step. We're going to put a bridge at a convenient location to that dock area so that cart pushers can go over here, grab gems, go across that bridge, and get over to the dock so that we can export. And then we're going to set up a bunch of gem mines all along here, and then set them up with a housing area that will allow them to get staff. And I think we'll just you've seen this before. I'm going to move ahead a little bit and show you kind of how it came out. So here you can see we've built two little blocks. One up here at the gyms to provide staffing for the mining, and another one down there at the dock area, obviously, to provide staffing for the dock. And we've got multiple storage yards, 3 actually, going out there getting the gems so that we can get them over here timely and get them in a position where we can export and where we can keep our jewelers occupied. Now, the other thing is this dock area is disconnected from the mining area, and one reason is that we don't want the traders to sit there and wait for gems that are way out there over near the mountains to come way over here to trade. So they will only trade based on what they see that they're connected to at the dock, and that would just be whatever happens to have come over here and been put in the storage yards by our cart pushers. So the disconnection right now is pretty important. Actually, later on it'll go away, and I'll explain why as we get to that. Now, right here, I decided because of the flow and where our entertainment schools would be, it'd be easier to go ahead and put the little bit of entertainment we're going to use, the bandstand, not up there, but down here instead. And we can, there you can see the bandstand and musicians going in, and that way there'll be a proper flow of entertainers going down there to get us our minimal amount of entertainment that we're going to use for this mission. And I apologize if there's a little crackling noise in the background. Look at that. Look at I had to do it once. It's like a tradition. I had to burn something down. Anyway, I apologize if there's a little crackling noise in the background. I think I'm having a little sound card or some kind of hardware issue that I need to straighten out. I've got my IT guy, who happens to be my son, on call. He's first chance he gets, he's going to come over and take a look at it. But in the meantime, it's just a minor sound, but it is there, so I apologize. And you'll notice we're getting the buildings up to ordinary cottages pretty easily. This is the pre-pottery stage where you have a small amount of entertainment, food, and water, and access to a god, and and the health care you need to keep them from getting sick. So this is really pretty good. You could do the whole mission probably successfully with just ordinary cottages. And in fact, we'll talk through some lessons learned at the end of this, and one of them would be, because of the limitations on beer that we'll see later, you can only do so many nice blocks. I tried to do them all nice, and we get a lot of kind of run out of beer. They degrade, devolve, and then they go back up as soon as we get beer. It actually, though, interesting enough, while I'm talking about it, the aging is your big problem here. This takes a long time to finish this. And as your people age, you get less and less percentage of the population that is able to work. So you have to kind of constantly keep growing your town, adding more housing to get new people in. Or alternatively, you can blow up housing and allow the fact that people move out and then new people move in as as you put the housing back, you actually get younger people again. However, we actually end up doing it in a rather interesting way that I don't really care for. Some of these blocks were not as stable as I would have liked, mainly because of the beer. And so they would devolve, people would move out, they would evolve back up, and people would move back in. That actually worked just fine to handle our issue. So you want to get that temple complex to Ta as quickly as reasonable, because it gives you some bonuses for your monument building with that altar to Amon or however you say that. So we wanted to get that going quickly, and this new community up here is basically to mine plain stone. So we're going to set up a number of plain stone mines up here, and if you watch, it doesn't help you to have 100 of them, because you only need as many as your worker camps can carry, to the site. So what we're going to do here is have an accept up there. So we're grabbing all the plain stone, and then we've got get all plain stone on 3 storage yards over here, and more in our work area where we're doing our building, and that way we can keep moving the stone over closer to the monument. And there we had our first battle. Sorry, that was just so quick, but it was nothing. We had a couple of archer forts set up and got that done. And now we're going to start importing a little bit of copper and get some infantry going, because we know that those attacks will get stronger as they go. That's kind of the nature of these missions. So you can see there we're getting a ton of food because we've got efficient food production up there. We've got a nice little community going there, housing block with ordinary cottages. We've got 2 more here that are developing, and we can add housing to them as we need to. So you kind of have this constant flow of adding housing, making sure everything's attractive so that they'll evolve, and checking. Really, the biggest thing in this one, I would say, is checking your unemployment to make sure if you're going to tax. And right now, we're not taxing anybody because there's just not that much money in it, and we're making really good money from our exports. And you can see we got a ton of jewelry to export. So we got a request to send troops off to a foreign spot. So we sent 2 archers and an infantry, 4 companies over there to defend Dashur, and kept 1 back so we could keep recruiting, keep building our own army. And we're just looking for any other ways to trade. We've opened up trade for limestone, and we're only trading to maintain 64 because you don't need to have a stockpile of thousands of blocks of limestone. You just need it when you need it. So we've got 1 accepting that they're at the dock, and then 1 getting it over near the work site, so that we can move it over there more closer. And that's really all we did for imports the whole game. We got a couple of gifts. We had to expand it a little bit, but so what? So here, because we're getting a lot of stone there, and we can't move it over fast enough, actually put in work camps and put in the road so that they can go ahead and drag the stone over to the pyramid. So we've got work camps that can drag directly from over there where it's being produced, and we've still got the yard bringing it over here so that as we get it over here, it can be dragged from here, and that should keep us moving the stone about as quickly as we can. And there I ran out of money. I'd gone all this way without running out of money, but an import got me, and I ran out of money. Doggone it! But I really didn't care, So. Yeah, now there we have upgraded. We started taking in pottery, and at this point I decided it's time to start taxing people. So we're going to put in tax collect. We put in a palace, and we put in tax collectors, and we're going to tax people now that we've got those modest homesteads there. They will not recoup all of our wages, but they will do a pretty good job of offsetting some of our costs. Now we're getting a little message, there's no trading by water for a while because of bad weather, but that's okay. So now what we're going to do is start getting the pottery. You see we have a ton of pottery over there. I was hoping we could export it, we can't. And so we're going to get pottery from over here where we're producing it, take it over to that other area so that those 2 housing blocks over there can also upgrade to pottery level and raise us some more tax revenue, give us some more workers. So we're starting that process on both sides, just to making things pretty, bringing in the pottery, and lo and behold, it's working just fine. So here I went ahead and made that road connection so they're not disconnected. And I'm trying to remember why I did that now. I said I'd explain that, and now I'm not sure why I did that. I'm sure I had a wonderful reason. Somebody explain that one to me. I might have goofed there. Anyway, we've got them up to the pottery stage. We're hanging in there on our stuff. We're making some money now. We're starting to click off a little bit of the burial provisions as well. And what I'm noticing is, while we have a lot of gem mining, we're not keeping up with it. We could do more. So we're actually going to set up a second set of gem mines out here so that they can bring gems in as well. They won't be quite 100% efficient because there is a maximum distance that you can carry their product to a storage yard and still, get the cart worker back there fast enough to get the next load without holding things up. And that second set's a little beyond that phase, but I decided that's okay. They'll just go ahead and keep carrying to that same original storage yard. You can see we're building up quite the little military here. We're going to end up with 4 infantry forts, academy trained, and 2 archers. That's enough to take care of anything. And we're just constantly checking the gods, constantly checking our unemployment to see if we need more people or less people, you know. And you never need less people. If you need workers, if we need workers, we add housing. If we have unemployment, we create more jobs, you know, with more guilds and more worker camps or whatever to keep it growing. And that's just kind of the mode you're in for a long time as you build this large monument and the smaller monument and the Sphinx. Now we did set up, I was a little late doing it, a couple of carpenters guilds and importing some wood so that we can build those ramps to allow us to keep going up higher and higher on the pyramid build. I was actually a little late doing that. I kind of forgot about it for a bit and lost a few months because I hadn't set it up in advance. You should set that up as early as you possibly can, and certainly as early as you can afford it. You can see our money's going up now. We're looking good. Even in spite of the big military that we have and everything else, we're in great shape on money. And we are collecting taxes, and that is certainly a help, but that's not the whole thing. And here I decided to set up some more plainstone mining, so we just got a couple of little loops running in there. I gave each one of them, or little straight lines really, I gave each one of them an architect post, put down the worker camps and storage yard for them, and those worker camps are there so that as they accumulate, the workers can go ahead and drag the stone away from that storage yard. So there you can see we're starting to fill that one up. So, and we've got plenty of limestone. Everything's going just great. Life is good. Now here we're going to start importing beer. I thought, why don't we? We're going to have beer for the one of the burial provisions anyway. Why don't we go ahead and upgrade our folks and put in beer? And if we're going to do beer, then we can go ahead and do a courthouse and get these folks up to nice apartments. And then if we're going to do that, we can also do papyrus. So why don't we? We'll start importing reeds, and we do have papyrus makers. We only have papyrus makers, potters, and jewelers. That's all we got. But now we can go ahead and quickly upgrade these to common residences. And at this point, when you have common residences, you can actually cover your wage costs with your taxes pretty easily. So that's pretty sweet. So we're going to keep importing papyrus, and then we're going to drag that stuff over here. So we're going to drag beer and papyrus over here. And this was a mistake, dragging those over here, because there's not enough beer. We can't import enough beer to support several blocks of beer and what have you. So I really thought I was thinking we'd be able to keep all 3 of these blocks all the way up to common residence, but that was a miscalculation on my part. I think if I play this one again, I probably will someday, I would just have the one block very, very nice, and the rest of them maybe just those, just the pottery. Pottery seems to work just fine. And you also notice up there at the top of our screen, those houses are apartments. They should be common residences. They're right next to a courthouse. Turns out that courthouse located there will never go up there to help them. It's just a weird thing. I don't even know how to explain it. It seems to be My understanding was that the workers, when they come out, will always go, you know, somewhat random perhaps, but they'll go in one direction and some other time they'll go in the other direction. But for whatever reason, that courthouse never goes up there. It's just a strange, strange thing. But you can see that one that's in the middle is supporting both sides just fine, no problem at all. I'm sure if I did a little more thinking about the start and stop points of the courthouses, maybe it would become clear to me. So here we're starting to run low on workers. This is where our aging problem is starting to hit us. So in order to combat that, we're going to build another block. And again, we're going to try to build. I started to build it with that connection, and I realized no, that's going to mess up the entertainment. So I took that that intersection out of there and just looped the Kingdom Road around this new block that we're building. So this is a brand new block. It's going to have a connection to go over to get its for the bazaar to go out and for entertainers to come in. We're going to throw down some more entertainment schools so we have enough coverage. And just, take advantage of all that money we have. We got plenty of money now, and we're just going to go ahead and build out a fully built up block. And I'll say it again, I wish I'd just left it at pottery. I set it to buy beer as well, and put in the courthouse and put in the school and everything so that they would fully upgrade. And it was very satisfying to watch them upgrade so quickly, like you see here. As soon as that bazaar can start feeding them, they pretty much go all the way. Now, you notice right there, I deleted a house and then suddenly a nice common residence popped up. Sometimes they don't develop in nice 2x2s. You'll get a 1x2 and then a 2x2 and a 1x2, and you have to delete the one in the middle, the 2x2, to let the other two 1x2s expand out. So rather than having, the smaller homes and then the nice residence, you would really rather have two residences there. So sometimes you have to delete a house in order to gain a house. So there you can see they're all developing nicely. They're all beautiful common residences, except that corner up there for whatever reason. And I decided to experiment here. I wanted to see if oh yeah, it's the school. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the school that wouldn't go up there. The school wouldn't go up there, so I brought it down to the other end. So these little blocks, I can tell you that these straight line blocks we've been using a lot, they're great. I love them, especially when you have to get into a tight spot and go get gold mines or something like that. But a true loop is better. It's just more solid. It's more predictable in terms of the coverage you're going to get. And just as a reminder, you can use your YouTube controls to slow this down if you really want to see some part of this in a slower speed and see what's going on. Like right here, notice how I'm putting those statues back there. That's to keep these houses from going out in the wrong spot, and I wanted to clean them up so that they came out two by two houses. But anyway, you can slow the controls down if you really want to see some part of this. But anyway, I'm just going to keep it going fast like this because, again, this thing took us like 55 years to finish this. That's a long time. And could we optimize this, maybe move our monuments to a different spot, maybe do things a little differently? Yeah, of course we could, but I was pretty happy with the way this turned out. Right there, I had a little fire, but that was a little confusion on my part. I put a storage yard there thinking it was part of the loop, but it actually isn't part of the loop that's covered by the services. It's actually a connecting road. I've done that before. And right there, we're done with the stonework. The big pyramid is just now to the point where the stonemasons are going to go around and clean it up and make the nice sharp edges and sides on it. So I started build a road to open up the second pyramid so that the workers can go out there and start doing the foundation work and leveling and all that good stuff. You can see them carrying that out now. So they can get that ready, so hopefully by the time the stonemasons are finished cutting up and carving out and cleaning up the big pyramid, the foundation work will be ready on the other one, and we can proceed to bring the stone in and start building that second pyramid. So there you can see it's ready now to start the bricklaying process. So we got both things going on now. You see stonemasons going over there and continuing to clean up the big pyramid. I think we've got pretty much all the burial provisions already done. We imported a little bit of granite that we needed. And now we're starting to run into shortages of people again. So we're going to build a block here, and I decided to build a little kind of a large senator worker block here. You've seen these before. They're nice, really nice, solid blocks that you can use here. So just laying that out, setting up the road work, and getting the entertainment in it, all the services. We'll put the people in. You know the drill, and it'll give us a very nice block here to give us some more workers because our population is aging. We're getting a lot of elderly people now, and we're getting less percentage of the people who are able to work. So you just have to keep building workers. And again, here I think I'd like to have maybe this one would have been a good one to have it be the beer and everything, and have a really nice block here. We could even take it up and put some manners in it if we wanted to, and get some big taxation and what have you. But we've already got all the other ones at common residence, so too late. So anyway, going to build that up, make sure that it's got storage yards that are going to bring in food, bring in pottery, bring in beer, bring in papyrus, and the whole thing's going to be pretty and able to quickly, as quickly as you can get food in. So here you can see May 2464, we finished off that first big pyramid. And we're well on our way onto the second one. We've got another nice housing block going, and again, life is good. And I will say it's worth repeating. What you're doing now is, to play this, what you're doing is you are working on the making sure you can do all your requests. Sometimes you have to. I forget what you call it now. Oh, I'm having one of those moments. I can't think of what you call not using a product. That's one of those, you know what I mean. Oh my word. Anyway, I decided to do some festivals here because they're sitting on congenial and ready to give us blessings. They're not giving us any. So I thought, let's go ahead and push them over the edge. Here's another big battle. I think it's about our third one, but we're just vastly superior to anything the enemy's going to throw at us at this point. And putting in some more entertainment to make sure we got it covered. We now have our first dancers because of that block, and now the Sphinx is already done, and the Sphinx has just put it out there and have carpenters to build some scaffolding, and then your stonemasons go out there and do their thing to finish the Sphinx. So it's a pretty easy build, really. So we got 2 out of the 3. We've just got that one pyramid we're still working on, And you see our housing goes up and down, and I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I tried to import more beer, but there just isn't more beer to import. So this is a function of running out of beer and then getting beer back and having the houses go up and down. And I really don't like this part of it. I love the whole thing, generally speaking. Here we're even getting crime, and you'll notice we're getting crime, and we've got a courthouse there right in the middle. So there's some weird things happening here with our little straight blocks. I decided to add, this is one I'd built that didn't even have the police in it. I decided to add the police to make sure we got the coverage. So I'm thinking if you want to build a straight block, make sure all your services are down in one end so that they'll go out to the other end. That seems to be the way. And don't make them too awful long, because on hard, you can have some problems. And really build loops to get those center work blocks or some other design that you like, and build the loops. I love the straight ones, I really do, but they do have some problems. I mean, look at that. That courthouse will not go up to the right for some reason. Now, he comes out, he always goes down to the bottom and the way he returns, he never manages to go up screen. So I actually ended up putting another courthouse in there just to get it to evolve. It would have been better just to let it devolve, really. But it kind of doesn't matter. We're just finishing off here. Again, and the key to this one is surviving early with your money. If you can get your money going, and don't overinvest early. Make sure that you get your money going. Make sure you got your gems and jewelry and being exported to one place, and then go ahead and build the other one. Then you're good to go. Now, the reason I'm putting in these statues is I was thinking about giving this section linen, and just to upgrade it. And if you give it linen, you're going to run the risk, actually, and a second type of food. I've already done that. We're importing the meat, the cattle meat, down here just for this section. And if you give them the second type of food, they evolve, and then if you give them the linen, they evolve again. You run the risk, I call it risk in quotes, of ending up with mansions down there, or manors, they're called. So here's where I put in the second courthouse, just to get those to evolve. And I really I probably should have been saying, no, this is a stop evolving. And you can see we got all our stonework done now. It's just a matter of finishing up and having the masons do their thing. You can see the de-evolution. I'm not proud of this part of it. I'm not going to do it again because it's just too long, too big a pain. It took 666 months to do this. It could certainly be done faster, and maybe someday I'll go back and do it again, but right now I'm glad to have it behind me. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it'll help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for our next Pharaoh, A New Era video. Thank you.